and welcome to week 13 of Fire Academy. We hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July holiday. I know the recruits and the recruit training officers definitely did because they had the day off to spend with their friends and family. But before that day off, they had plenty of training to get done this week in areas throughout our entire district. So to start off on Monday, they did technical rescue training right here on the drill ground. Then on Tuesday, they went to Cherry Creek Reservoir to do dive rescue training. On Wednesday, they went to Centennial Airport, as well as one of our fire stations, Station 35, right by the airport, and learned about our ARFF team, which stands for Aircraft Rescue Firefighting. Then the 4th of July was the day off, and on Friday, they learned all about TIC searches, which stands for Thermal Imaging Cameras.
Josh Schmidt, Captain, South Metro Fire. Today we have the recruits out at Cherry Creek State Park learning about their water rescue skills. All of our line firefighters are expected to be able to conduct a surface water rescue, whether that's the surface of a lake or a surface rescue in icy water. We did a ice rescue station where they got in our ice rescue suits and pretended to conduct an ice rescue. Obviously, that's really hard on a sunny lake on the 4th of July week. We did a swift water scenario where we talked about how to throw bags and what skills they need on the shore to help us with a swift water scenario. And we worked on last seen points. The concept of a last seen point is to get really good information from witnesses about where a victim was last seen so that we can hopefully rescue them in a really timely fashion. This afternoon, all of our recruits are working on supporting the dive team. All of our dives are very technical operations. All of our divers dive in dry suits with full face masks with communication equipment so they can actually talk to people on the shore. The recruits this afternoon are setting all of that equipment up, getting it all ready for our divers, and then are acting as the line and communication tenders to our divers out in the water conducting the searches. We cover 3 different reservoirs, 2 of which are recreated very, very heavily, as well as a stretch of the South Platte that in the spring can be really dangerous in full water. Additionally, a lot of our dive calls are actually neighborhood ponds and lakes that might be just behind any average house in our entire district.
Matt Bovee, engineer, Station 35, B shift. So it's our aircraft rescue and firefighting team that we have here at South Metro that responds to incidents at Centennial Airport. So we have 3 dedicated firefighting apparatus here that are dedicated to the airport itself. They're kept off-site at Station 35 and Station 44. So at Station 35 we have Red 1. It's a 2,500 gallon rig. Red 1's basic function is going to be putting out the bulk of the fire if there is a fire with an aircraft. It doesn't really have any tools on it. All the tools are going to be kept on Red 2 and Red 3. Red 2's responsibility is providing egress protection as well as ingress protection for Red 3, which will be our entry team, our interior firefighting team, and our rescue team for that aircraft. Red 3 is kept at Station 44. It's a 1,500 gallon ARFF rig that also has extrication equipment, some other specialized equipment. We have certain response points that we go to in order to stage and get ready for a possible incident. So on an alert 2, for instance, that's going to be a standby where we proceed to the airport and we basically stage and wait, and that's usually for like smoke in the cockpit or a gear indicator that didn't light up. And basically we're just ready if something happens and they land and they end up off the runway or they crash or they have a gear failure. We're right there ready to respond, and that's usually determined by the pilot and the tower on who to call or when to call us. And then if it's an alert 3, we just usually come straight to the crash incident site. The recruits were able to operate aircraft doors on a pressurized fuselage. They were able to see some fire extinguishing hatches on the engines and the APUs. They got to see the inside and kind of what a dismantled cockpit looks like and kind of where all the avionics are wired up. Out here, all the aircraft have right-of-way. We have to give way to them in every situation. And then there's movement areas and non-movement areas. So there's areas where we need FAA permission just to enter. We have a great relationship with the airport. So Port 5 is their mobile operations person that's here 24/7, and they're always there ready to kind of escort us where we need to go.
I'm Jeff Pepper. I'm the thermal imager coordinator here at South Metro. Thermal imagers are a tool that we use that we can find the location of the fire and find the location of victims, even though we have a hot, smoky fire that is disrupting our visual ability to search through a fire. We use a special camera that allows us to see the infrared heat that's behind there so that we can do a search without seeing the smoke. It uses a color palette that goes anywhere from black, which is the coldest thing in the picture, all the way through a white picture into yellow into red. And the black is the coldest thing, red being the hottest thing in the picture, and it kind of shifts around based upon how hot the temperature is, and it's only what we're looking at inside the camera. It has nothing to do with the entire building or the entire room, only what you see inside on the screen of the camera itself. There are 3 really big key pieces that I taught them. One is that they need to practice with it. This is using a foreign language. It's using a sixth sense that we don't ever get to use. Infrared light's not visible to us every single day. So they have to practice with it and be really good at their image interpretation, using a sense that they don't normally get to use. Next is that they understand the principles behind it and that they use those principles to be able to find the location of the fire and find the locations of the victim by using the convective current and the thermal layer and all of those things that direct them to the seat of the fire in addition to looking for the people. And then last, use the tool to its fullest extent to make them as safe as possible, to keep them, their situational awareness with them, and to keep the people that they're trying to find as safe as possible and locate them as quickly as possible.